As you move from just sketching into 3D modeling, having sketches fully defined is going to be important for making the model as robust as possible. In this exercise, I'll fully define a sketch of an outlet cover. I'll start by creating the basic shape, then use constraints to key pieces of geometry, and finish by adding dimensions. I'll begin by sketching the rectangular outer edge of the cover. I'll activate the Center Rectangle command, start the rectangle at the origin, and pull it out to the rough size of the cover. Next, I'll activate the Center Diameter Circle command and, starting again at the origin, sketch a small circle. To create the basic outline of the main cutout, I'll start by making the top cutout and then mirror it. Since I know I'm going to mirror it, I'll sketch a mirror line first. I'll activate the Line tool and sketch a line from the midpoint of the left cover edge to the midpoint of the right cover edge. I'll select the line and switch it to construction geometry. With the mirror line in place, I'll start drawing the cutout. I'll activate the 2-point rectangle command and add a rectangle above the circle, roughly centered above the origin. Next, I'll use the Arc command to get the curved edges of the cutout. I'll activate the 3-point arc command and add an arc to both the right and left sides of the rectangle. To make the cutout a single entity, I'll make the right and left lines of the rectangle into construction geometry by Control-selecting them. Then using the sketch palette to change them to construction geometry. The general shape of the cutout is done, so next, I'll mirror it across the mirror line I made earlier. I'll activate the Mirror tool, select only the 4 outer edges of the cutout, and select the horizontal line as the mirror line. I'll click OK. And the general shape of the outlet cover is complete, and I can start adding constraints and dimensions. In this sketch, all the constraints are related to the cutout, so I'll zoom in on it. I'll start by making the arcs concentric. I'll activate the concentric constraint, then select the 2 arcs. Next, I'll activate the vertical constraint and constrain the concentric center point of the arcs to be vertical from the origin. The final constraint I'll add is an equal constraint. I'll activate the equal constraint and select both arcs. With the constraints in place, I'll finish fully defining the sketch by adding dimensions. I'll activate the Sketch Dimension command and start by adding dimensions to the outer rectangle. I'll select the right edge and set its height to 114 millimeters. Next, I'll select the top edge and set it to 70 millimeters. With the Dimension tool still active, I'll set the diameter of the center screw cutout to 12 millimeters. Fully defining the cutout will need 3 dimensions, so I'll start by positioning the cutout. I'll select the bottom of the rectangle and the origin and set the distance between them to 11 millimeters. I'll select the top and bottom lines of the cutout and setting their distance to 28 millimeters. To finish the sketch, I'll select the right arc and set its radius to 17 millimeters. With that, all of the sketch entities have turned black and the sketch is fully defined.